Hello everyone. On this weekend wrenching, we're replacing the door checks on our 08 Outback. They're a little weak, they don't really hold the door open very well, so we've got some replacements. Because once you're on a hill, this door doesn't stay open. So let me show you what you got to do to replace the door checks to get the door to hold itself open. With the door open, we need to remove a couple of trim pieces so that we can access the screws that hold the door panel on. We've got to pull the door panel off so that we can get to the door check itself and get it out. So we're going to use our flathead screwdriver, get behind this mirror trim cover, pop it off, 1, 2, 3 clips. And then at the door handle here, there's a little indentation for its trim cover. Try and pop it off without breaking anything. Go in, push down, pop it out. Couple clips on it, screw right there. And then the other 2 screws for this door panel are behind the door pull handle. So you're going to take some kind of trim tool, very carefully, try not to scratch any of the paint or anything. Come in the top part of the handle, pull out, and it'll pop loose. It's got quite a bit of tension on it, obviously, because you pull on this every time. They don't want it just popping off. There's a few clips here to hold it on. You've got 1 screw up top, 1 screw on the bottom. All 3 screws are Phillips head screws. Just going to take them out like so. And then the door panel is free, except for it's held in by some retention clips. So you're going to try and get your hand behind the panel and just pop the clips out all the way around. And once all the clips are out, you should be able to just lift up . I may not have all the clips. Let's see. I believe I do. There we go. Lift up, pull it out. Now you're going to come around on the back side. We're going to release the electrical for our power window switch. Release the electrical for our door lock, and disconnect our manual door lock cable and the interior door cable. Then we're going to reach down and disconnect the courtesy light. To do the cables, you have this flap right here. You pull it up and you'll disconnect the cables here and here and pull them out of their slots. Then we can set the door panel aside. The door strap is right here. So we'll go through this hole. We've got to get the barrier out, the weather barrier out of the way. So I'm just gonna, I need to get a razor blade. We're not gonna cut the weather barrier. We're gonna pull out and try to keep the seal, that sticky seal between the weather barrier and the door panel itself. We're gonna manipulate that seal so that it's not so messy and we can get the seal off without tearing the seal. Let me grab a razor blade and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so with our razor blade, we're going to pull back on the weather seal a little bit and just trim the seal, the sticky part of the seal. I hope I'm not in the way of the camera. Just taking my razor blade, just pulling a little bit of tension on the plastic and just trimming the seal. Some people will just rip this off. I don't like it. Well, for one, it's not very professional. And two, it could cause you water intrusion issues down the road. So all we're doing, we're just easing enough of it back to where we can get our hand in here. Gonna disconnect the speaker wire, push this tab down, pull speaker wire out. That'll let the weather barrier fold over a little bit farther, give us a little bit more room. Just trim, 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 all the way back till we can get our hand in this opening. We just need to get our hand right here. It should come right out. Then 10 millimeter, you got 3 10 millimeters to get the door check out. Let me show you the door check. Here's the door check. Got it from Subaru. There's part number. Okay. Take that razor blade. We're gonna cut the bag open. I'll show you what we're working with here. This is it. This is the whole thing. So now we're gonna take our 10 millimeters off. I'm gonna pop these loose. And then I got a 10 here. Pop it loose and take it off. With this one off, I'm gonna reach up. The other ones are just finger tight now because I started loosening them. So we're gonna take them out and then reach through, push it through, and there we go, just like that. I'm gonna take this one, note the orientation, and match it up with the new one, swap them out. Stick the new one in, through the hole, get the bolts, get the studs poking through, start the nuts, and we are more than halfway through. We're going to reverse the process and get finished up. And since we did not tear the weather barrier, we can easily, when we're done, just fold it back over, line the two sides of the sticky back up, and the weather seal is still intact. So let's get everything tightened down and we'll put the door panel back on, check our work. I want to tighten that all the way before I get the assembly bolted to the door first. I want to tighten it to the door before I tighten it to the body. That way, hopefully it'll be a little bit easier for it to line up. Won't get bound or anything like that. So we're just going to make sure that we tighten it to the door, and then we'll tighten it to the A-pillar. And that's it. Take our weather seal, just line the sticky back up from where we took it off. And that way your weather barrier is still intact. Don't forget to plug in speaker. Put the door panel back on, reverse the process like I said, done, easy. Let's finish up. All right, now that we got the door panel over here, checking to make sure we don't have any of the tabs missing or stayed in the door and not in on this. And we're gonna put it back together. All the screws are the same size. They're all Phillips head, they're the same size, so it doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3. They don't have to go back in the same hole because they essentially are the same screw. So, I'm gonna put these back in, put our trim panels on, see how she works. Even just now, I can already tell it likes to hold itself open a little bit better than it did. Okay. I'm going to put this, it's supposed to be here, it stayed on the door panel though. And then we're going to line these 3 tabs up. One, 2, much better. Perfect. Job well done. All right, guys, that's all I have for this episode. Something while we're just something a real quick video I thought I'd shoot since it needed to be done while we're all stuck at home for this COVID-19. I hope you're all washing your hands and playing it safe. Try to stay away from too many people. Make sure you're staying in place so we can get this virus killed. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what I'm doing here, have questions, suggestions, comments, leave them below, and I'll see you next time. Keep on wrenching.